what if it's not actually transhumanism that they're trying to achieve? What if it's trans-nephilism, for lack of a better term? And they figured, we can't get out because of this radiation belt. They've tried every other technology. Maybe they can figure out a way to upload their consciousness and then move those machines out.
Well, I think machines, yes, exactly. There's all sorts of backup plans. You can go beyond this belt as a machine. Absolutely. It's just with human DNA. We are Nephilim too. We have their blood. This, they may call it junk DNA or whatever. They're doing their best to conceal it. But anybody who looks into their own consciousness objectively knows that there's very dark aspects to the human nature. We know this. This is, the greatest minds in the universe have contemplated this. So it's a given. And that particular mysterium, as I call it, the qualities of the mind that just create confusion, that put blocks between us and the spiritual dimension, that bog us down and all of this stuff, and the compensation for evil. This is their legacy. This is not indigenous to anyone who lived on this planet. Any beings that have ever obeyed nature's laws and have had to obey them don't operate in an evil way or an immoral way or an amoral way. We've been brought to that because of the trauma of the past and also this genetic interference, you see. But these creatures, who, when they visited our planet, just a blink of the eye ago, whatever they had done in their own system, whatever they had done in their own world, you see, had violated nature so badly that they literally, we would define them as being evil. And it's not very complex to understand. Certainly, if you've read the myths and legends, then you see this clearly. Because, see, we today have a very fudgy understanding of evil. In the ancient times, they didn't. These were crystal clear to people. Evil was very, very discernible, and everyone knew how to define it. And a spade was called a spade. It's only today where, again, through atrophication of the mind and so much attack on a person's spiritual values and their true core virtues, that we have also a very vague and blurred understanding of what even evil constitutes. Now, these Nephilim are evil. When they interfered with us to make a slave race for themselves, they crossed their own DNA with us. So each individual living today, every single human being, is in one way one of their children. And that's why choice is so important. Because the only way to say that you're not of them, or not of their blood, not of their way, is to consciously decide that and then work at it. Consciously be realigning yourself always towards the good and towards the spiritual and towards the pure. And those purifications need to be physical as well. It's primarily attitudinal. That's absolutely the most important. It's all attitude. But then you back up your attitudinal, or at least if you look at the myths and legends again, or the way that the ancient cults worked, they purified you. They had hierarchies. It was understandable because they were trying to purify out. They were trying to condition out that particular Nephilim seed. And there's not one way to do that. I even believe that most of religion, yoga, meditation, mysticism, alchemy, even maybe in some instances, even the seeking for the soma, in the hands of some other people, it might have been that as well, sort of substances to help purify, because they knew something. And yoga, the original meaning of the word yoga is to reunite or to go back, to return. And I believe that that's a distinct denotation to go back to the pre-visitation period. If you study a lot of this stuff, you'll start to see that it's like a return, going back to a time before the trauma, before the interference took place, so that man can be whole again. In fact, in the talk, I'll be going into this again in the solution sections of what it will take to make the human being whole again. Because I've been studying this. I've been studying the anatomy of evil, and have some important things to say about, how it can be not only cleansed from this planet completely, because I absolutely believe that evil is a phenomenon, it can be ended, but also some of the in-between stages as well, and people need to get hold of it. Not just to repeat like robots what I'm saying, but to think about it like I've done, and then say, let me bring that into my own life and work on it. So I'm just making suggestions that people can then morph and work on in their own individual way. But first you have to know at least what those precepts are before a person can say, I like this, or I'm better at that, So you need to get into that, to think about this basic alphabet of change, and then anyone can then sort of adapt it to their own existence in their own life.
Let's get into that right when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, with Michael Tsarion, michaeltsarion.com. We'll see you right on the other side.